Another new day, new home, and another opportunity to learn with IGP. So, my dear lovely audience, and I'm welcoming you all to our Institution of Global Professionals free webinar. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I think right now our participants who joined with us in this session and their families also, they are ready to learn with HEP. So thank you all for joining with us in this session. Please stay with us till the end. So dear audience, I'm your host for this session, myself Nasreen, and I'm from Bangladesh. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to be associated with IGP as a global member. I feel honored and privileged to host this webinar, and it's my delight to welcome you all to our Institution of Global Professionals free webinar. So it's my humble request and pleasure to all take the end. And you can also give a react and share this webinar in your timeline. So don't forget to tag, share, and mention your friends in our comments. Okay? So, my dear lovely participants, let's learn together and grow together because we believe that power is gained by sharing knowledge, not winning. So don't forget to give a thumbs up to our Facebook official page and subscribe our YouTube channels. And you can also share this live session in your timeline, Facebook groups, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn also. Okay, so dear participants, every day we have many new participants who join in this live session with us from different places and time zones. So let me share the concept about IGP. Institute of Global Professionals serves student and community resource providing holistic social work and education for great and efficient generation. IGP is leading an online skill development institute with thousands of learners worldwide. We make it able to use for every knowledge seeker to originate personality, more ambitious, more confident, to face any circumstance and develop their own skills. We are entrusted with international recognition. Institute of Global Professionals is an educational institution provides social work. We believe that it's not effective to increase one's skills just by acquiring formal education. So we provide effective training and consultation to generate proficient generation all over the world. We organized our webinar online offline training courses, etc., and best and trained speakers from all over the world to create a best learning platform for all of you. And our mission is to empower people and enhance. We have already completed our webinar number 592, and today I'm presenting webinar number 593. The topic is Great Integrators. So let's start our program with IGP's mantra, that is feed your skills. Okay, so before inviting our honorable speaker, let's read some comment from our comment box. Right now, we have Sir Joseph Namulus Pleasure already joined in this live session and shared this. Thank you, sir. We have Mme. Saya Kengi from Kenya, and we have Mme. Carmela Buhin from Philippines, and Evelyn P. Weperi also from Philippines. So, and so many participants who already mentioned their friends in our comments. Thank you for joining in this session, and please don't forget to tag, share, and your that is you're doing also mentioning. Thank you again. So, dear participants, let's welcome our honorable speaker from India, Dr. Praveen Kumar. Welcome, sir, to our Institution of Global Professionals Career Center. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sir, you can start your presentation.
Good day, all of you. So happy to meet you all again in this event. At the outset, I really want to appreciate, congratulate Mr. Kaushik Datta and his entire team in the Institute of Global Professional Forum for doing all this events. It's an intellectual celebration that is happening, and I'm so happy to be part of it. The entrepreneurs who are all around us are the actual heroes and the superheroes. If you are aspiring to become one, is for you, wherein we are going to draw inspiration from all the entrepreneurs who had led their life by example. So we'll draw inspiration from them and see what are the strategies that they adopted to subvert the entrepreneurial paradigm and make it really, really big in the world of business. So anytime if my voice is not audible to you or my presentation is not visible to you, please let me know. So these are the various eras in which we had traveled, the different waves we have traversed. So the first wave started around 1785, and it was the era where cotton was put into use, iron, uh, power, water, all these were put into use. Then came the second wave with railways and steam and mechanization. The third wave was about steel, heavy engineering, electricity. Several industries started with these at the center. And then we moved on to wave 4, which was about petrochemicals, electronics, and aviation. Then wave 5, which some of us could have seen, wherein it was software, digital, networks, and mobility. Now we are in wave 6. It started already and it's going to continue for another 20 years or so. And that is the era of disruptions. So, as an entrepreneur, you cannot be a great similar today. You cannot be a me too product. That is what I told you. You cannot be a great similar. You will have to be radically disruptive. You will have to be a disruptive entrepreneur. So, in this era of disruption, things are going to be nano networked. Things are going to be hypersonic. And look at the algorithm. They're going to come with intelligence, with quantum computing. There's going to be synergy. So, people, humans, are going to get the best of both the worlds. The intelligence of a human person and the body of a machine. You become transhuman. Futurists already are saying that human beings who are going to live forever and ever without dying are already born and are living with us. The lifespan also has increased for all of us. So disrupt to S, to become the numero uno. I've deliberately put companies which actually start with A, with a pun intended of acing. And the first three, Apple, Amazon, and Alphabet, are already in the trillion-dollar club. And soon, Airbnb would also enter that club. So these are companies that disrupted. Now, before we talk about these companies, as an aspiring entrepreneur or as an entrepreneur already, we need to ask certain questions which are very insightful. However, the answers may not look simple, though it is. The first question would be, what business are we in? Now, people would say this is obvious. Like you go to a pharmacist in a medical store and ask him, what are you selling? The pharmacist would smile at you and say, can't you see? I'm selling medicines. You go to a construction house who keep building houses for us, and you ask them, what do you do? They again say, isn't it obvious? We're building flats and apartments and houses. Can't you see? So to anybody, let's say to a company which sells soaps, you're going to ask them, what do you do? They say, we manufacture soaps and we sell soaps. It's very simple. Which means we have not understood the nuances of business. Or in other words, we have not understood the pain points of the customers. It is imperative that we understand the pain points of our customers, of what they actually are looking in for. So ideally, what a pharmacist should not say, I'm selling medicines. A pharmacist need to understand he or she is selling cure, is selling relief from pain, cure. A person who's building houses need to understand these are not mere houses, they're selling lifestyles to people. When you buy a Rolls Royce, you're not buying merely a car, you're buying a lifestyle, you're buying safety, you're buying luxury. Similarly, a soap, let's say it's Dove. You're not buying a soap, you're buying beauty. So we need to understand what solutions we are selling to address our customers' pain points. An educational institution is not churning out students with paper degrees. They are equipping them with futuristic skills to be employable and to become entrepreneurs. So, do we see the larger picture? Do we understand our customer pain points and are we giving solutions to them? Should be the first question. Like social media marketing is so popular, there are so many advertisements, but one particular advertisement caught my attention. It said, study in Australia without IELTS. Now, this guy who put up this ad turned around 1 crore rupee. There were so many people consulting, trying to help students reach to Australia for their studies. However, this guy who put up that advertisement understood that the pain point of the customer was Not many of them were willing to take up IELTS, the English exam, or weren't even clearing it, not making up the necessary points. So he did some groundwork, understood how it works, found out some universities in Australia which were actually recruiting students without even an IELTS score, partnered with those universities, and then released this beautiful advertisement, and thus made 1 crore rupee. Very simple. He understood the customers' pain points and gave a solution to that. As entrepreneurs, we need to do that. The second question is, how do I price this? Let's say you're going to sell something in Amazon. There's a calculator which tells you suggestive pricing. Or there are different pricing strategies. One such pricing strategy, for instance, is the odd number pricing, where let's say you price it at $999 or 999 rupees instead of 1,000 rupees or $1,000. Why? Because people read from the left to right. The eye movement is from left to right. So it is still 999 and not 1,000. That 1 rupee makes a huge difference. It works. Psychological pricing, as they call it, odd number pricing. Likewise, entrepreneurs need to understand what price would best suit for their product offering. Another question would be, who are my competitors? Understanding your existing competitor is no big deal. Understanding your potential competitors is the need of the hour. Let's say there was this management consultant who visited the factory of Coca-Cola. He went around, and every executive was so eager to learn various insights from this management consultant at the end of the tour. He took a tour of the factory and came back and said, the most important insight that you need to understand is you are in beverage business. And that is the greatest insight that I want to share with you. Now the workers of Coca-Cola were so disappointed. They said, isn't this something very obvious and commonsensical? Why do you call this as an insight? This is just commonsensical and so obvious. Then the management guru asked them this question: who are your competitors? They were further disappointed. They said, of course it is Pepsi. He said, it is because you think you are a cola business, you are into cola business, you presume that Pepsi is your competitor. But what I told you was, I did not tell you are in cola business, I told you are in beverage business. Which means it is not Pepsi alone who's your competitor. Even packaged drinking water, packaged juices, iced tea and coffee, cold coffee, fresh juices, beer, all this can be your competitor. So you'll have to look at from this standpoint. Are we into cola business? Or are we into beverage business? You'll have to look at the larger picture to understand your competitors, especially your potential competitors. Another question would be, who are my customers? Now, you cannot say everybody who is going to use this product. We need to target them. We need to market segment them. Let's take these two toothpastes called Colgate and Close Up. Look at all their advertisements. Colgate has clearly identified their target segment, which is the lady of the house who's going to make their buying decision. So in all their advertisement, you will see the lady of the house and kids around, because only when you use kids, the lady of the house will show attention to that particular brand. Whereas Close Up is largely targeted at the youngsters. So in all their advertisements, you will see youngsters with fresh breath. You try to attract the opposite gender. That is what you see in all of their advertisements. So they beautifully segmented the market. So an entrepreneur need to segment the market, like these trillion-dollar companies have done. Apple and Amazon and Alphabet and Airbnb. We'll be talking about them. So I made a list of some companies which had disrupted and emerged successful. The others who did not disrupt, who did not understand the changes that were happening, and therefore had to eventually die, which is closing down their business. Let's take Facebook, for instance. For Christianity to have 14 million followers, it took around 2000 years. But for Facebook to get 14 million subscribers, it just took 2 to 3 years. That is the speed at which Facebook was gaining its momentum. And now it is still trying to be relevant to the millennials by getting into this world of meta. This disruption is very important for Facebook to happen. Otherwise, it becomes irrelevant for Facebook. Netflix was a video lending library business. Today, apart from they being in the OTT platform, they're a production house. They produce a lot of movies. That is disruption. That is changing in accordance to the changing times. Disney is still trying to be relevant in spite of the advent of the umpteen number of video games to which the youngsters are hooked up to. Like in Disney World, there are body sensors which tell them the most popular places where people come and assemble in the Disneyland, so that they can introduce more machines and slots and games which people prefer, using the analytics that they collect from the body sensors. Microsoft, though, lost their battle when Android came. They could have easily emerged as the numero uno. Today, to stay relevant, they offer their MS Office free to Android users for their mobile phones. Thus, they stay relevant. Donald Trump became the president of America largely because of Cambridge Analytica and the strategies that they used, the insights that they gathered through analytics for Trump. Nike, though a shoe company, is trying to stay relevant by being technologically savvy, wherein the number of steps can be counted. You still can stay fit and healthy using the smartwatches and connecting it with your footsteps and things like that. They're trying to stay relevant even today and not merely being happy being a shoe company. McDonald's, to whichever country they enter in, they customize their menu. When they come to a country like India, they understand the sentiments here. and sell only chicken. And they introduced the aloo burger, the potato burger here, because there are a lot of vegetarians in India. So they try to stay relevant in whichever countries they enter in. On the other hand, look at the list of companies which failed to change, forget disrupting. Kodak was doing roaring business with photo films. However, they were also one of the pioneers to enter into the digital film market, but they did not pursue that. They thought because of the sheer size of dinosaurs thought that they're going to live forever and ever. The dinosaurs are non-existent today, whereas the cockroaches will not take things for granted. They'll be paranoid. Kodak took things for granted, and today they're non-existent. The first personal computers with graphic user interface was actually developed in the research laboratories of Xerox. But they feared entering into that personal computer space. They were so happy with just office equipments. They could have easily made it very big if they had entered into the personal computer space during the 1980s. Border, a company that was so popular for selling books, did not understand that the disruption had started and people were buying books online, today reading it online. Today we do not have border retail outlets which sells books through their physical brick and mortar stores. eBay could have been the Amazon today. They lost an opportunity, though they were the first movers. Encyclopedia Britannica, the most stolen books from the laboratories in the world. It is in the Guinness Book of World Records for being the most stolen books, have stopped the printing because Wikipedia had come. And Wikipedia used information from the users. Whereas Encyclopedia had laboriously collected them, they did not digitize it. And thus, they've stopped printing today. IBM did not get into the personal computer space. They considered personal computer as a toy. And today, they're not manufacturing personal computers. Intel missed out an opportunity of making chips for mobile phones. They were so a great company, and they thought the dinosaurs will live forever and ever. Several other companies took over from them. So, from out of the box thinking for an entrepreneur to boxless thinking today. Okay, there's no more out of the box thinking, boxless thinking, especially after the COVID-19. So this is Steve Jobs, a very inspiring entrepreneur. He has written a beautiful book called Icon. Please read that. 1984, he introduces Mac computers, the personal computers. Not just that, Steve Jobs asked this question: why should computers look so boring? Forget about the tasks that they do. Why should they look so boring? Why should they be square? Why should they be pale white in color? So he introduced different colors to the computer, added curves to the computer, and made computers look glamorous to the users and the buyers. He used graphic user interface, pull down menus, icons, so that it is user friendly. Several of the manuals that are written, operating manuals of how you should use the computers, Steve Jobs said, let it be school kids who are going to write that so that it is easy for the user to understand. And it should not be written by engineers because they'll use a lot of jargons which the common man may not understand. Look at the thinking style of an entrepreneur. 2001, they were supposed to be a computer company, but they entered into the world of music. Sony's Walkman was so popular. In fact, the Japanese, they had a strategy during those years. Whatever the Americans invented, the Japanese will make it, miniaturize it, and give it to you at a better quality. So, if the Americans had introduced the stereo tape recorders, Sony introduced Walkmans, which were miniaturized version of it and had better quality as well, did not disturb the other listeners around. iPod from the stable of Apple was a hit back on the Japanese strategy, wherein Steve Jobs gave an even more miniaturized version of a Walkman with hundreds of songs that could be played, whereas a cassette that is played in a Walkman may not have more than 50 songs. 2006, he introduced Pixar Studio. When he was thrown out of Apple, he introduced animation. 2007, they were supposed to be into animation and phones and music. He entered into this phone business. BlackBerry was a super duper hit, an elite brand. And Steve Jobs said, why so many buttons? It had the QWERTY style of keyboard. Why so many buttons? No. The phone from Apple should have only one button, and that should be the power button. Everything else should be done with touch screen. It looked so impossible that day, but that was the vision that Steve Jobs had. 2010 iPads. Till today, Apple is not able to disrupt anything after Steve Jobs. They are just making better products, improved versions of whatever Steve Jobs had introduced to this world. These two PhD research scholars put up an article in their university website. The title of the article was The Anatomy of a Large-Scale Hypertextual Web Search Engine. Generally, the articles by professors of that particular university will be topping the list. But people were zapped because this article written by these two young research scholars, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, was on top. And they commercialized it, they implemented it, they called it Google. Those days, when the Greeks went to a war, they would go to consult the oracle, the god who would foretell them whether to go ahead or to back off. Today, our digital god is Google. Googling is almost an English word added in the dictionary. They beautifully understood the customer's aspirations as well. Today, the most visited page on earth is that search engine Google. And you'll notice in the most visited page on earth, there are no advertisements. Generally, you clutter your pages with a lot of advertisements, but Google, in spite of the eyeball share that they boast, have decided not to put any advertisement in that page because people would want to start their day on a clean sheet of paper rather than a cluttered space. So Look how beautifully they have understood the user sentiments, these two young guys. That is why Alphabet is a $1 trillion company today. Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world, a computer science engineer, an avid book reader, visits Barnes and Nobles, the brick and mortar stall, the store which sells books. And if he intends to buy 5 to 6 books, 2 or 3 will not be available on the shelves. As he comes out of the retail outlet, he gets an idea, he gets an insight. Why not I sell books online so that when 5 books are orders are placed for 5 books, I procure them and deliver it to them without the books not being available physically in the stores. Being a computer science engineer, he applied whatever he had studied in his business idea. I think this is what is very important. Today, knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. Are we able to apply all that we have studied or that which is relevant to us into our businesses? Can we integrate this? That would be great. From books, Jeff Bezos started to sell several other things, and today they sell A to Z. In my slide, look at the Amazon logo and the swoosh, the orange swoosh which extends from A to Z, which says in Amazon you can find anything from A to Z. Talking about Amazon, we need to understand the way they've understood business. The primitive man and woman, for instance, when we were living in caves as hunters, human beings had always been gatherers. We had been gathering, be it food gathering or things that would attract the opposite gender. We love to hoard things in our dens, even when we were very primitive. That is still there in us. The need to hoard things, to buy things. And keep it in my house and what be sitting in your couch at the comfort of your house. That is what Amazon is doing. What I'm trying to tell you is Amazon has understood the innate need of people in buying things, accumulating it in their houses. They have tapped that. And today, you know why Amazon is in the $1 trillion club. We had talked so much about Facebook already, metaverse already. But again, look at the way Mark Zuckerberg and his company has understood some innate human needs. Now, we are social animals. Human beings are social animals. We cannot but communicate and relate to each other. Now they gave a digital space for human beings to do that, and it clicked. It was a beautiful idea. And today they reap the benefits of that particular idea of giving a digital space for people to network and connect with each other. This is Jimmy Wales and Larry Sanger, the co-founders of Wikipedia. Encyclopedia was larger than life. But look at these guys of how they have made inroads. Today we do not refer to the encyclopedias. We do not go to the libraries. We go to Wikipedia, and the content is from people. That is the beauty. The content is from the users. Jack Dorsey, though Facebook was already there, but still you identify opportunities, the gaps, the niches, and thus Twitter was born in 2006, wherein this was about mini blogs about people's celebrities who can broadcast their ideas to their fan following. Reid Hoffman redefined, disrupted the way recruitment and selection happened by way of introducing LinkedIn. Today, 80% of all jobs that happen in America is through LinkedIn. Several other countries have also caught up with that. So, if Facebook was a social networking site, he carved out a niche for himself and said LinkedIn would be an online professional networking space. This is Richard Branson of the Virgin Group. Whatever he does, he would do it with a difference. That lateral thinking would be there. Be it a product launch or starting a new business, there'll be something very unique of the products that come from the stable of the Virgin Group. In his autobiography of Losing My Virginity, he would say, if he gets a business idea while traveling and he finds no paper, he'll even write it in his passport because he might forget that idea. He would want to capitalize on it. So constantly he keeps thinking about various business ideas, and eureka, when he hits on something at some point of time and there's nothing to scribble, he'll even write it on his passport. So that is Richard Branson doing things differently. When he launched a SIM card in India, for instance, he did a bungee jumping from a high-rise building. Now, the chairman of the group doing a bungee jumping is weird. But that is what this guy is, weird. So different, lateral thinker. Entrepreneurs need to be lateral thinkers. In India, we have this person called Arunachalam Muruganandam. A movie was also made based on his life. It was called Padman. Now, periods is something that women don't discuss. There's a lot of shyness for people to discuss all these things. Now, what he noticed was women were adopting very unhygienic practices during their periods. Why did women who are menstruating did not buy sanitary pads? Because sanitary pads were very expensive. Why were sanitary pads very expensive? Because the machines that were used to manufacture them were very expensive. So he remodeled them, re-engineered those machines. So some machines which were priced at 35 million, he remodeled them and manufactured it, designed it, and brought it to a meager 60,000 rupees. And today, healthcare by way of sanitary pads is available to everybody at a very nominal cost. An entrepreneur is one who understands the pain points of the customer, understand it like Arunachalam Muruganandam. I would even talk about Professor Muhammad Yunus from Bangladesh. The way he introduced Grameen bank, the bank for the poor. There are so many banks across this world which caters to the rich and the middle class. There was no bank that catered to the poor of this country. That is why Grameen Bank and Professor Mohammad Yunus were honored with the highest prize of the Nobel Prize itself. This is PC Mustafa, a very young chap. He introduced idli and dosa batter, a breakfast, a tiffin that is consumed, especially in the southern part of India. And this batter did not include any preservatives or additives in it. He, in fact, introduced innovative kiosk in which these idlis and batters were retailed out. He called them the honest machine, in which there was no video cameras, no retailer to sell these batter. All that the communities could do is, let's say there is an apartment or a small community, nobody to watch them. They can take the idli and dosa batter and put the money without nobody watching or a person to cater to them. And it worked. People were honest. They paid. Again, I'm relating this to the Grameen Bank of Professor Mohammad Yunus. The poor are honest. They'll repay. That is the book that he had written, The Poor Are Honest. This is the vada batter that PC Mustafa introduced. The packaging was so different that you could make perfect vadas out of this batter. This is Karsanbhai Patel. Was very passionate about chemistry, but he was working as a clerk in a government entity. Somebody who noticed his passion said, "You use my car shed. My car shed is dilapidated and old. I'm not using it. Why don't you set up your laboratory there?" He was so happy. He set up his laboratory there and started manufacturing detergent powders. Detergent powders in India were so expensive because there was only one company which was doing that, and that was Surf. It was very expensive. It was meant only for the rich of India. Karsanbhai Patel made it indigenously here in India, put them in small quantities in polythene covers, distributed in a cycle around the village at 1/10 of the cost in which Surf, the detergent powder by an MNC, was sold. People found a value in it, and people started to buy. At one point of time, his brand, Nirma, named after his daughter, was the largest selling washing powder in the country. So please understand, when we offer value for money, people will buy. I think we are already 1 hour into this. So I'm stopping it here. I could go on and on talking about entrepreneurship. However, I would be very happy to take some questions from you. Therefore, I'm stopping it here. Thank you so much. Over to the organizers for questions. Over to the organizers. I'm waiting to take questions from the listeners. Okay, I understand. There is a comment section. Only now I am going through it. Thank you, all of you. for your wonderful compliments that you've given. I'm just looking in for some questions, if in case you had asked. Okay, thank you all for your wonderful comments that you have put in the comment section. I would be happy to take up questions. I see no questions here, so I'd be happy to take questions. There seems to be no questions. Organizers, what is the next thing that we need to do?
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with our participants. Thank you so much. And sir, we will
Thank you.
come back with in our Q&A session, and in that session, our participants will ask questions. Sir. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. So, my dear lovely participants, get ready for our next session, that is quiz competition. Okay, so after this short video, we will start it. And before starting our next session, don't forget to tag, share, and mention your friends in our comment box. Okay, so enjoy this short video. Really sorry, I was in mute mode. So right now we have 20 participants, more than 20, 25 participants who already joined in this session. And you can see the joining link in our comment box. Also, you can directly go to www.slido.com, and today's quiz code is IGP. And please give your full name because it will print in the winner certificates. And you can also scan the QR code that's flashed on your screen. And today we will provide 10 certificates to our top 10 winners. So don't forget to tag, share, and mention your friends in our comment box. And please note that there is no relation between quiz completion certificates and the international webinar certificates. So you have to wait for till the end for to get about to know the information about certification process. So then you can collect your international webinar. And we have right now 38 participants who already joined in this session. We have Ma'am Jigme here, then we have Ma'am Garima Sharma, we have Ma'am January Cindy, we have Ma'am Tenzin Jangmo, okay, Ma'am Jeneline D. Delacruz, Ma'am Kefa Rivera, Sir Joy D. Dickerton, Ma'am Emily M. Fihu, Sir Elan H. Brutus, Sir Ashok Kumar Adhikari, then we have Ma'am Rosie T. Soros, Ma'am Christina Vidal Rosario, Ma'am Manila Tianoyan, and rest of them. So right now I have 39 participants. Okay, ma'am, Nestor Daba, okay, Dabua. You can see the joining link in our comment box, or you can use Chrome. Directly go to www.slido.com and the code is IGP. So in this process, you can join this session. We have right now 42 participants. And we will start our quiz completion within a few minutes. So get ready everyone and get ready with your question for the next session to ask our honorable speaker. Okay, get ready for play in this session. right? So the first question is entrepreneurs means raise capital to organize and run businesses. Or the option number two, were typically against laissez-faire capitalism. And the right answer is option number one. The A is raise capital to organize and run businesses, and 100% of our participants answered correctly. So let's see the winner. Okay, we have now Sonam Yangchen with first position in this round. Congratulations, following Sanabulin Vitor following Jeneline Borja Mandawi, following Charlene Kalamaguchi, and Emily Nekat. So, congratulations to our winners. Let's see the next question. Question number two. Entrepreneurs have a great need for what? Taking risks or personal freedom. Correct answer is option number one, that is personal freedom. Okay, and only 15% choose the personal freedom, and major participants choose 85% choose taking risk. So congratulations to those who answered correctly. Alright, now we have Marjorie and Napua Carousels place first position in this round. Following Tenzin Jiangmu, then we have Kyungyu Sara Kitty. Then we have Sir Ashok Kumar Adhikari, and finally we have Charlene and Infant. Okay, congratulations to all participants who answered correctly. Moving to next question, question number three. What are entrepreneurs? People who make their own businesses, or rich and famous people? Correct answer is option number one, and 100% of our participants answered this question correctly. In our leaderboard, we have again Namjori and Guacamasis. Place first position in this round. Okay, congratulations. Let's see the next question. So many entrepreneurs have looked to the film for what? For their next great page innovation. So we have to put one option in the blank. Innovation or fiction? Correct answer is innovation, and 72% of our participants chose correct answer. In this round, we have Tenzin Jiangmu, place first position, leaderboard. So congratulations to our winners. Let's see the next question. Get ready to answer it. What quality does a great entrepreneur have? Self-doubt or passion? You have only 6 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and the time is up. So the correct answer is option number 2, that is patient. And 97.5% of the participants choose patient. Okay. Again, we have Nantan Jiangmu who is first position in this round. Okay, congratulations to our winners. Moving to next question. What mistakes do entrepreneurs make? Lacking focus or saving money? Correct answer is option number one is lacking focus. And 85% of our participants choose the right answer. We have Ma'am Cheryline, okay, and Elf Infant. This first position in this round. So congratulations to our winners. We are moving to next question, question number 7. An entrepreneur must be great at organizing other people or science. So the time is up, and the correct answer is option number one, that is organizing other people. And 95% of our participants get the correct answer. In this round, we have again Ma'am Charlie and El Infante place first position again. So congratulations to our winners. Let's say the next question. Why did the Great Depression begin? The dust stock markets crashed. So why did the Great Depression begin? For the dust bowl our stock markets crashed. You have only 3 seconds left to answer it. Correct answer is option number two, that stock markets crashed, and 88% of participants choose the correct answer. In this round, we have still non-momentarily and something. So let's see everyone our next question and get ready. So you have to put one option in blank. So the question is, what is a great way to develop relationships with potential investors and other entrepreneurs? So is this networking or interaction? So the correct answer is networking, and 95% majority of the participants choose networking. So congratulations to answer correctly. In this round, we have still now Manchel and El Infante with first position. So we have one more question, question number 10. So everyone get ready. Most entrepreneurs end up running a company that have many employees or have less than 10 employees. So the correct answer is option number two, have less than 10 employees, and 38% of our participants answered correctly. Let's see the winners now. Okay, we have Nanjori and Nako Cubasas place first position in this session. So congratulations, Nanjori and Nako Cubasas. Then we have Charlie and El Infante in second position. We have Sir John Kinetsy who is third. We have Sir Alex Xavier Alvarez plays fourth. Then we have Sir Joy D. Licata plays seventh. Let's see the next name. We have Ma'am Emily and Fiyu plays sixth. We have Ma'am Nika Jinna Javier plays seventh. Sir Shirley McBee Ibernaso plays number 8, Sir Joker Vitoso plays 9, and Christina Vidal Rosario plays 10. So congratulations to our top 10 winners. Again, I'm congratulating to all of our winners, and give a virtual class for our winners. So you can collect your winner's certificate from our Facebook official page after the program, and it will be posted after 15 minutes later. So thank you again for your participation, and dear audience, get ready for our next session, that is Q&A with our honorable speaker. We will come back after this short break. So get ready with your question to ask, and please address our speaker name and stay with us till the end, because in the end we will share the certification process. So thank you again. Welcome, sir, to our Q&A session. So, my dear lovely participants, get ready with your question and please write down in our comment box. Our speaker is ready to answer. Hello, sir. So, dear knowledge seeker, if you have any query and question, please write down in our comment section. Okay, here is it's not a question, it's she wants some suggestion. It's from Janeline Borja Mondawe. Give us some suggestions to become a good and successful entrepreneur.
Okay, so to be a successful entrepreneur, you need to be very observant. You need to observe what is happening around us. I've given you so many examples of entrepreneurs who had been observant, who observed. I observed and understood the customer pain points. That is what I've been telling you. Like Amazon understood that people would want to hoard things, buy things from the comfort of their houses. Facebook understood that human beings are social animals, and so they gave us a digital space for people to network. Likewise, Google understood that people are searching for information and that should be made available to them. So you become an entrepreneur by understanding the customer pain points and giving a solution to that. Hope that answered your question.
Thank you, sir. Dear Nalasika, we are waiting for your question. So if you have any query or any question on this topic, please write down in our comment box.
So I think there are no queries. I wish you all to become,
There's a
yes.
question, sir. The question is from Ma'am Noni Hilgaroq. What strategies would you recommend or advise to those entrepreneurs who were affected by the pandemic? Exactly. It's also my question.
Yes. So during the COVID, the digital space was used much. So that was an opportunity. Let's say if the COVID had not happened, we wouldn't be conducting this webinar now, though these facilities were available even during 2019. Before 2019, we never thought about conducting these programs online. So there are several companies that have started to benefit because of this online mode. Let's take there's a company learning edtech companies, education technology companies. Today, the biggest educational technology company is in India. It's called the Byju's, where they have started to teach coding even to school children. Okay, you got to be as old as 5 years old, and they start teaching you coding and music and math and whatnot. So, COVID pandemic has opened us a lot of opportunities, especially with regard to the digital world. So, if you could think in terms of capitalizing this digital space, this becomes a great opportunity. Next question is, what are the biggest challenges to being an entrepreneur? Now, to be employed somewhere, it is very safe. You can be in your comfort zone and you get your monthly paychecks. Whereas an entrepreneur, the journey is very risky. But if you want to make it big in your life, you will have to become an entrepreneur. If you want to be an ordinary human person living a ordinary normal life and perishing without making a difference, then you can work for some company, play it very safe. However, if you have the stomach to take risk, want to make it big, uh, address people problems, especially give them solution, then go for it, become an entrepreneur. The biggest challenging task is the risk taking ability. If you have that risk taking ability, you can become great entrepreneurs. Look at what uh, Elon Musk is doing of Tesla. He has understood that this world is not very sustainable. So he is looking in for sustainability. He is exploring how to live in other planets, especially in Mars, how to create locomotion using clean energy, especially electric cars and so on, which would be a replacement to the fossil fuels and oil that is being used. So why don't you think like that? So these could be the biggest challenges is the ability to take risk. How do you stay on top of the industry trends, which means You'll have to be very, very proactive. Think before them and not be a greater similar. You'll have to be totally different. You'll have to be disruptive. That is what I've been telling. If you want to, I'm sorry, stay on top of the industry, you'll have to be very disruptive. You need to be lateral thinkers. Hope that answered all your questions.
Thank you, sir. The next question is again from Ma'am Janine Borja. How do you stay on top of industry? And we have another question.
Okay, how to maximize entrepreneurship among. Now, there are several entrepreneurs who teach us one lesson. If you do something, do it in a large scale or don't do it. Okay, because there's something called economy of scale. Once you do something in a large scale, you get the benefit of economy of scale. So whatever you do it big. They call it the 10x thinking. Look at all the entrepreneurs. Look at the examples of the entrepreneurs I had given. Let's take Jeff Bezos, for instance. Jeff Bezos did not stop with retailing books online. He introduced several products, and today it is A to Z. You can buy anything in Amazon. That is the scale. So, any entrepreneur, it is very important to scale and think big. And especially when you're thinking, think global but act local. Okay, you'll have to think global, but your actions should be pertaining to the laws of the land and the opportunities in that particular land. So scale is very important. That is what I told you. To summarize, if you want to do something, do it very big or don't do it. So scale is very important.
The next question is from Membrana Rodriguez Simulus. Sir, how to maximize entrepreneurship among young generations in this pandemic?
Can't get to the question, ma'am. Biggest challenges in entrepreneurship?
It's not a challenge, it's how to maximize entrepreneurship among young generations.
Yes, ma'am. That is what I answered now. So I answered that question. It was about to scale, do it in a large scale. So I answered that.
So thank you so much, sir. Thank you for coming in IGT's platform and sharing your knowledge with our
Thank you
participants.
so much, ma'am.
We want some last
Pleasure's mine.
words to
Pleasure.
hear for our participants. So please share some last words for our participants.
Okay. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. I'm super excited to talk to all of you, especially on this very interesting topic, which has a lot of opportunities. I wish that at least some of you who had attended this session venture into entrepreneurship, take those risks, try it and see. You will make it big. Only thing is, people do not venture into this because the sea is rough, but battle tanks are built so that it goes out to the war. And when it goes to the war, it gets battered, bruised, broken, dirty. But the purpose of a battle tank is to go out and fight an all out war. It is not to be painted, oiled, and well maintained in the army's warehouse or godown. The purpose of a battle tank is to fight. So, the purpose of all of you is to become entrepreneurs and make it very big rather than working for some company, working for somebody else's dream to come true. Work for your dream to come true. I wish all of you the very best. Go kiss the world, make it very big. I would want to be seeing a lot of entrepreneurs who come out of this webinar as a result of this webinar. I thank all the organizers for giving this wonderful platform to talk to so many of them. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you once again. Thank you. So there is our certification process. It's 15 June, and the program name is Great Entrepreneurs. The code is IGP 15393. Let me tell you once again. The code is IGP 1593, and without this code you cannot get the certificates, and with code you can claim your certificates anytime. So you can also visit our website. Our website address is www.eduigp.com. Let me tell you once again, the website address is www.eduigp.com. So visit our website and collect your certificates, and don't forget to celebrate with GP. So once again, and thank you to all of our participants who are still now watching, and thank you again for your participations and your cooperations. So I'm inviting all of you to our next webinar in the evening, so don't miss it, and please collect your quiz winner certificates from our Facebook page. So till then, stay safe and stay healthy. And Lakshmi signing off right now. Have a great day to all of you. Thank you.